Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Biblical Britain Uncoded. Apologies, I've been so long in doing a video. I did put a short piece up on kind of YouTube. I'm not sure how many people saw it, but bottom line is, since I did the the last video on Christmas Day, an awful lot's happened. Basically, I've been in hospital. I won't go into details, but I basically had an operation. And I'm currently on the mend. That's really the bottom line of it. But before I went into hospital, I'd actually uncoded the next video. Just tried to. Well, I rushed it a little bit, in honesty. I was in pain and what have you. But ultimately, the following, well, it didn't upload, and I was in hospital. So I've literally. But in the meantime, a few things have come to light, and I've realised I've got to readjust this code a little bit, or the new code, to. Well, obviously, and put it out there correctly, or as correct as I think I can get it in the correct order. But what you're about to see is nothing short of miraculous, and I am not even joking. When I tell people, I say it every time, this is just extraordinary and divine. There is no question. What I've managed to do, and like I say, I'm not taking the credit for it, because I have to do it, but I've got a best friend upstairs in the heavens, that just gives me all this, really just guides me all this information. And what you're about to see is the work of a mind that is just absolutely, well, I don't even know what nobody but the Creator himself, who put this code into creation. And again, like I say, anybody, if you have any doubts of whether there is a genuine Atlas matrix, which is obviously a matrix when you know how to break the matrix, which I've obviously decoded previously, but ultimately what you're about to see is something phenomenal, because as you can see on the board, I'm doing it as a recap. It's not all the code in the last video, but what the last video revealed, which was astonishing in itself, unbelievably, the next video takes everything, well, not only confirms the last video in the most miraculous way, it opens up a whole new thing, and one of the greatest, let's just say, you're about to see the exposure of of more Vatican lies, and what they did when they rewrote this Welsh Bible. Okay, rewrote the Welsh Bible, switched everything to the Middle East to hide the real Jerusalem, Solomon's Temple, Eden, everything. And like I say, if you turn away from this video, it's on your head, because like I say, you've got to see the miracle in this, that I was able to do this, and it hasn't taken me 6 weeks. I got nothing for 2 weeks. Then within a space of, well, I don't know, probably a week, I'm guessing, but on and off, because it breaks down piece by piece by piece by piece. But I'll even, well, as you'll see, and what we're about to do is we've got an Atlas line with a star constellation, or Atlas line code or statements, not the one on the board. This is the new one. And we've also got a constellation message made up of numerous constellations. And literally, what I will be doing is I will show you the two separately, what they say, and then overlapping the two, and you'll see the real meaning of as above, so below. Okay, so right, without further ado, I don't want to go waffling too much, because obviously we want to get on. I need to get on with this, because there's a lot to fit in, because it gives you gives me a set of instructions as well to show you things. Oh, well, you'll see as we go. Okay, so just to let you know, as a recap, the Atlas message says, yes, ancient Welsh Bible rewritten, connect ladder redeemer, that'll be me, and there's more to come on that. Angel's key and seller, and C. Kelsey and Ella, they're my daughters. It says, wed the rendezvous, which is the lock, which is all to do with Jacob's ladder, and padanarum, or padlock anagram as it decodes. Which creates the ladder, and the Argus Navis escape, and the archangels going up and down being ships. Right, okay. Obviously it says warn event. Well, the event is the Noah event. It's the final play of Earth, really. Worth pointing out as well. It's obvious, but not obvious. But obvious now. I know what is going on. Okay, the first thing is he says the end comes. Yah says the end comes by fire. Effectively, the end of the Earth comes. Well, it's basically completely and utterly destroyed. That's the bottom line of it. But he also says, I lead you to the promise. Obviously, he leads the people, the redeemed, or the remnant, to the promised land. What it doesn't state is that, obviously, and in the Orion Code, notice it says, see switch far ahead. Right, the switch is the fact that the promised land is not on this earth. Because what he also says is, I create a new heaven and a new earth. Obviously, and obviously the switch far ahead, obviously when he wrote it, it is far ahead, but the switch is to realise that the promised land is not on this earth. Where exactly it is, I don't know, but he creates a new heaven and a new earth, and they all become one. Okay, on that note, obviously now, so on that note, right, now, this is where it gets crazy. Okay. The second part, even though the two combine to give the timing of the code as well, I uncoded the fish constellations. In the book of Job, it says, speak to the fish and they will teach thee, I think it is. And it also says, speak to the land and it will show you, or it's words to that effect. I've done it all in the last video. You'll have to watch that to get the full force behind these videos and how this video, honestly, unbelievably connects to the other. Things I would have never ever thought of. Well, as you'll see, I've learned some new things from it. Right, so the fish constellation message, all I did was take all the fish constellations, Pisces the fish, Dorado the swordfish, Australis the southern fish, I think it is, or something along them lines, Cetus the whale, the dolphin, everything in the depths basically, and the fish in the sea, everything in the sea. I took all the constellations with fish names or fish or whales and what have you, and unscrabbled the titles, each title, and the message it produces is ancient South Wales history is hid in the depth of the Vatican. She hushes up G-Rus, she being the church in the Vatican, or the higher realms of it. G-Rus is obviously Jerusalem, which is Ventus Ilurum, a place named Ventus Ilurum Caerwent. But then it goes on to say, ID Welsh Christ, use H hidden on hill fort, N popes, FFF lies. FFF is 666. It's all to do with the Antichrist and the deception of the Antichrist, because it's not a Christ. And the basic formula for this is you take the Welsh, ID Welsh Christ, which is grist. Hang on, it's just, right, bear with me a second, folks. Sorry, it's the word grist. That's currently what it is. I think it's been changed, but either way, it doesn't matter. It says use H hidden on hill fort. Well, the hill fort with the key, Solomon's key, points to Corsham, exactly where I am now. Well, Eastleigh's Corsham to be exact, the exact office that I'm in. The place I'm in, Eastleigh's Corsham, anagram says, yes, Atlas Marcos H. So it's my H, basically, is on the fort. There's a whole lot more to this. Manchester is the secret H-man. If you anagram Manchester, secret H-man, there's a secret H-man hidden in the Atlas. Basically, it's me. Uncoding all this, obviously, but not, like I say, I'm not doing, believe me, I'm not intelligent enough to do all this. This is not, it's not my work. I'm just here to guide you in. Okay. So use the H hidden on hill fort. So all I do is have the H in. Then when I uncode it, it's basically, it's RGH. Well, if you've been following these videos, you will know that RGH is the Royal Arch in Cancer, where I was born, which is the Royal Gwent Hospital in Newport. There's a whole lot more to it than that, but it also it indicates the river, which is the Severn, the Sabbath River, which is decoded. Then you've got Jerusalem, and then you've got Hebron, or the Mel H, whichever. But effectively, you could unbelievably uncode all of this to my name and my family name. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to move on now to I'll pause for a second and move on to the next incredible set of codes. Okay, folks. Right, the first thing I want to do is show you how this all kind of kicked off, if you like, this code. Okay, always wondered about this one, Ara the altar. Okay, and right, literally, it just came into my head to go to Ara the altar. The first thing that I noticed, and I've looked at this before because I thought, you know, and I thought Gibraltar, something to do with that, but it isn't. Okay, it's much, much cleverer than that. Okay, there are extra letters when you take this, but what you effectively have, and this is the key to have broken this, or started breaking it, and this is where I start to bounce between the atlas and the stars, because they both link perfectly to reveal something. Right, firstly, you've got Ararat. Okay. Now, anybody who knows anything about Noah's Ark will, or the current Bible version, says that Noah's Ark came down on Mount Ararat in Turkey. Okay. Right. Now this is where it gets, because obviously I knew there was a constellation called Mensa the Table Mountain. There's more to this because there's something else in that. I've gone through it before, and I'm sure there's more to come on it. But effectively, what you have is so first part of the clue. There's letters left over, but all that tells me is there's more constellations to add to it, and there is. Okay, so basically is name the Table Mountain. Okay, so this is just general. This is really just how it all starts. So what has Ararat got to do with the Table Mountain? Well, funnily enough, then in Wales, in the real Holy Land that's being exposed, and all the Vatican lies and the rewritten Welsh Bible, is a mountain near between kind of Crickhole and Abergavenny, north of Jerusalem, or north of Caerwent or Ventus Ilurum, that basically, obviously, it's called Table Mountain. Okay, I'll show you it on the map now, because this is where it all starts. Because what I did was drew a line. Right, bear with me a second. Let me just take you to the map first, so I can show you what we're talking about. Okay, folks. The first thing I want to show you is the Atlas line itself, with the Atlas message line, or the new Atlas message line. Okay, what you see in front of you, and what I wanted to take into consideration is that obviously there are tons and tons and tons, you know, hundreds of places, and this line could have gone anywhere. But what you actually have, just to show you, is the constellation of Mensa Table Mountain. So as you can see, this is just, right, how I did this, I do not know. This is just divine guidance, because I got it. I had it slightly off the first time, knew it wasn't right, just adjusted it up. I had no clue what the message was going to say, but this point here on the map, or this star, that would actually be, that one goes literally on that is Table Mountain itself on the map. Now, as you can see, and I know people say, oh, this is pareidolia, but I often think that. I don't know whether this is a whale or a fish, but this is the shape of Table Mountain. Okay, when you go into it, you've got this fish tail, and this is and this now. I know this sounds crazy, but when you see how this inspired the message, because all I ended up with is 36 or 37 place names. No clue what the message was going to be, absolutely none whatsoever, but miraculously pinned the line straight. Well, I got it, the sort of changing coordinates and the direction of the line. I pinpointed it on instinct. I don't know, instinct or something. I don't even know how I did it, but I did. And you know, obviously I'm being guided. There is no question of that. But all I've done is look roughly where the fish is looking. And what it does, it goes through I don't know how many places altogether, but there's literally tons and tons of them. I think that's a little out actually, it should be a little higher, but right, when I cut the line through, it goes through all the places. I will show you the list of place names, but it goes right across Wales, full of places with double L's. Abergavenny, Llanfoist, you'll see there. There's Llanbedr, Llanfair Cross, that was a tricky one, but critical to the overall code. Followed it down, literally picking up all the place names, Clangy View. See, that says Angel View and L something, but it's like kind of clues all the way along. Kemmy's Commander, Marco Mensmy Key as well, that one. But there's kind of hints all the way through it. Goes through Port Skewett, Sudbrook, Caerwent. This is Caerwent, Jerusalem, so it goes through Caerwent, across the River Nedden, across the River Severn, down to Bishopston, and just to show you how this works. Obviously Bishopston's a big place, but what it does is the places that cross the line, because they're not always on, like Bishopston is not on the line itself, not the name, but when you type in Bishopston, it comes up with this red kind of border ring, and all I did is I set it there. Well, this is clearly the place to set it because it obviously lines up. And then you take all the place names, and as you'll see, it crosses, where is it? Where are we? Oh, it crosses the River Avon twice. So what you'll see in the code is the River Avon will be written twice, as will the River Severn. The River Severn you cross coming over, but you also cross as you go. You'll see you'll go across the Minehead. Goes through Winford. A lot of these little places don't have red rings like this. From a distance they look like they crossed the line, but when you zoom in they miss the line completely. So what you do is you just take the ones literally that are on the line, or give or take on the line, and like Draycott, that's another one. Bagley, that's another one. I don't know if you can see this actually, sorry. Bagley, Draycott, Bagley. And then when it came to this one, it's a place called West, I can't even see it because it's on the line too much. This place is basically called West Hay. And as you'll see, it's near Glastonbury, but as you can see, again, you get this red ring, there we are, West Hay. And my only logic in picking that for what, and again, I don't even know how I managed to, how I hit this line perfect to get this code. Is an absolute miracle, and there's no way that anybody should be able to do it. But I followed it West Hay, followed it along, and then it crosses all these different places, and a new river actually, the River Parrot, or Parrot. So you take the Parrot, then it crosses, they got Wick, Shirton, and then it crosses the Severn again, literally from across to literally a place called Minehead on the other side of the, and the reason I picked that, again, just bizarre, the Orion code says Head RGH House, Final Land. So I thought Head Mine, and that was my only lot, you know, I don't know how, again, how to explain how I got it so perfect literally on practically, well, as good as the first attempt really. And then come up with the following message, because I didn't do it by the message and then place the line. I just placed the line, drew the constellation of Mensa, the Table Mountain, starting with Table Mountain, and literally plotted it out, then took the place names off, and then created the message. But the message is absolutely extraordinary, as you will see. Okay. So, right, on that note, bear with me a second. Let's go back to the board and I shall break the message. Sorry folks, I just want to point this out. Obviously Solomon's key, the real key of Solomon, is this hill fort. I mean, this picture doesn't really do it justice in truth. It hasn't been cut and what have you. If you Google Llanmelin Wood Hill Fort, there's one picture on there where it's literally cleaned up, and it is clearly, you can clearly see it's a key. Okay, Caerwent, or Jerusalem, is actually, let me just pull this. This is the fort city or the walled city of well, so said Roman city, with the temple, for anyone who's new, which will become apparent. And this is the padlock that you break the matrix, basically. More to come on that, but I just wanted to make a point that this line crosses Caerwent. Caerwent is obviously a village, it's obviously larger than just a fort. But I just wanted to make the point that it literally crosses the key line as well, and really, because it's all part of the same thing with Solomon. Okay, bear with me a second. Right, okay, bear with me a second. Let me just readjust my... Right, as you can see in front of you, what you've got are the list of places. Every one of these places cross this line. Obviously, the little starred ones are rivers. As you can see, you've got the Usk, the Nedden, which is the dried up one that runs alongside Caerwent, which is the dried up Nedden, but that one's critical for Jacob's Ladder, the Jacob's Ladder code as well. Llanmelin is the key. I've just done that there, just so you can see. By the way, if you see all the bruises on my arms, that's where I've been in the hospital and I had blood taken and what have you, just to make the point. Right, okay, as you can see in front of me, there's a massive list of place names. Table Mountain, Llanbedr, Llanfair Cross, Abergavenny, Llanfoist, Usk, Llanfair Gilgedin, Llangyview, Kemmy's Commander, Llanmelin, Caerwent, Nedden, Portskeut, Sudbrook, Severn. I won't read them all, but as you can clearly see, this is the Atlas Matrix line that, bear in mind, makes up the constellation of Table Mountain in the heavens as well. Because we'll go to that. There's a message from a group of constellations that literally ties directly in with the message that I'm about to reveal. And what I'm about to reveal, boy, this really should frighten the Vatican to death if they, well, as and when they see this. Okay, assuming they're going to see it, but I can assure you, it is exposing them like you would, like, well, as you're about to, let me just show you. Okay, so as you can see, I put the names up, the places up there, and all I'm going to do is literally anagram the hidden code that is written in the Atlas lines that make up the constellation of Mensa, the Table Mountain, which also anagrams as names the Table Mountain. Because we're going to name the Table Mountain something now and reveal a great secret that all ties in with the Welsh, well, where it says, yes, ancient Welsh Bible rewritten, and ancient South Wales history is hid in the depth of the Vatican. Right, okay, so let me just unscrabble this for you. Okay, folks, as you can see, the most miraculous message. What inspired this, because obviously it's just a list of place names, no clue what the message was, and a lot of double L's to start with, which was you know, when I looked at it, I thought I didn't even know where to start. But what I did, as crazy as it sounds, is I saw I would say it's either a fish or a whale, but when I went to Table Mountain, I spotted that it's the tail that gives it away, really. And that whether it is meant to be a fish or is it it's not pareidolia, I'm sure of it, because I thought that with the apple of Eden as well. But ultimately, this is what inspired the first line, and this is once it started unpiecing. Well, as you'll see, and like I say, I've got to try and explain all this, which is going to take some doing. But this is only kind of half the miracle, because when you see the constellation message that I'm about to show you, that goes hand in hand with this, and realistically, if I take the last video's line, it says, yes, ancient Welsh Bible rewritten, connect ladder redeemer. As you can see, well, as you'll see, that I could even slot this in amongst that as well. But obviously, I'm limited in space and time as well, so I'm not going to be able to do it. But these messages just link up, every single one of them, and probably all the way through, they will do the same thing. But proving this is beyond the coincidence, way beyond the coincidence. Okay, I know how I get it. I can't explain it, but you can tell that this is divine, call it divinely inspired. Well, it's not even inspired, divinely led. How he does it, I don't know, but he puts it in my head to go here, go there, draw these lines. But ultimately, this is what it says. So remember that the last video that I did, well, told you that the ancient South Wales history is hid in the depth of the Vatican. She hushes up to Rus. ID, Welsh Christ, use H hidden on Ilford, end Pope's F or 666 lies. Right. Flow straight into this. Spoke to the fish. This is in the book of Job, where it says, speak to the fish and they will teach thee. It also says something about the land as well, will give up its secrets type thing. I forget the wording. Spoke to the fish and they revealed Welsh Christ and Vatican Bible lies. Well, there's the perfect start before we go. Okay, now we're going to expose another great lie in the most miraculous way. And I didn't see this one coming other than when I found Ararat in the stars. Final rest of Noah's Ark on Table Mountain, not Ararat, Turkey. Absolute, perfectly written, exposing the lie that all this has been moved. And the original Welsh Bible, which is probably in the depths of the Vatican, has been hidden from us. And they have basically enslaved us and taken power, created a false Messiah, created, well, a complete and utter lie, basically. But nobody is going to believe that the Bible's been changed due to the way we're indoctrinated. Okay, it says, Table Mount, not Ararat, Turkey, connect Dove event. Right, basically, I will connect it because it's connected. The kind of answer, or the second part of this, is written in the constellations. But effectively, what this is doing, it's IDing the original flood ark coming down onto effectively, it's comparing it with the landing zone of the second ark that comes and rescues the people in the second the Noah event that is coming. Obviously, the second ark is obviously the Argus Navis, which takes the people off. But what he did with the Connect the Dove event, what he's saying is basically Table Mountain. He's obviously above or just above Table Mountain, I guess. Noah sends out a dove. I think he sends a raven as well, which is interesting, knowing that Bran is the Raven King who ruled from Solomon's Key. But he sends out the dove, and the dove comes back with nothing, and obviously realises he's not touched down on dry land, or he's not on, I don't know, not on dry land, I guess. But I think it's the second time, he basically sends the dove out. He calls the dove back. The dove's got a twig in his mouth. He realises he's touched down, but obviously on Table Mountain in Wales, not Ararat, Turkey. Again, like I say, you're about to see something that is, well, like I say, mind-blowing. Okay, it says links. Right, it's difficult to know which order this is, but I'm going to have to come back to this, but it says Link Solomon Coelin. Well, Coelin ap Caradoc is who I've identified as Solomon. The King Solomon is Coelin ap Caradoc, son of, well, David Caradoc ap Bran. But they've taken, I think they've removed the David, but the code is still within the name. And I will go through that later, because what this is, the Sabbath part and the end map is to do with the Great Seal of Solomon, with the reflection in the water. Again, I'll come back to that because I'll have to break it down. The Gumri Wonder Belt, Angel Key, and again, I'll break this down, but this is to do with, this is the Giza Pyramid code. A G is your map ID. A Giza Pyramid, unbroken down, is a G is your map ID. But what you can do is break it to tie it with right. Basically, you can pull off the RGH code. Obviously, G is your map ID. Gumri. Gumri is also Mr. Guy. That's me. The Wonder Belt, because I'll come to it anyway, but we'll come back to that. But the Wonder Belt Angel Key is the Ankh. Okay. But that ties in as well, but I'll show you that. Ooh, that should say Nedden. Right, now the next bit is absolutely phenomenal, as you will see. And again, this is mind-blowing, because I learned something I didn't even know. It says Link Nedden or Nethen Ladder, Cumbran Valley Womb. Right. Incredibly right. When I saw the Cumbran Valley womb bit, I understood the Cumbran Valley womb. My mother is born in Cumbran. She is identified as the Divine Mother, which also identifies the Divine Mother, and then you overlay it with the ship in the picture, so you get the Divine Mother ship and the rendezvous and the LZ on the map. But, right, it is so clever because the Ned and ladder, as I showed in the last video, the short part of the ladder, when you show the ladder on the map, on the ship that I will show you in a bit that's laid out on the map, the Argus Navis constellation, is decoded from that onto the atlas, draws a ship. The ladder effectively it goes through Caldecott, Nedden and Caerwent. When you unscrabble the short code in it and make the ladder, when you unscrabble those place names, it says connect ladder ID Caerwent. Again, it's all to do with Jacob's ladder in the last video and connecting that again. And not only that, you get the answer in the constellation message that I'll show you in a little after this one. But what they're right, why Cumbraen Valley Womb? Right, both my parents were born in Cumbraen. So what he is doing, and Cumbraen is known as and you can Google this, is known as the Valley of the Crows. So what it amounts to, I discovered that I was, and I'm sorry for this one, Mum, but I was conceived in Cumbraen. I didn't know that, but obviously this thing delves deep in, but anyway. And then my father was living in Caldecott, my mother, but obviously both were born, my dad was born in Llanfretford Grange, my mother was born in Panteg Hospital. Now, the two crows I'm sorry to call my parents crows, but it's obviously part of a code. But the two crows got together and then they basically, again, the egg is fertilised. They then move and make their nest on Caerwent Temple. Okay, so what you have on Caerwent Temple is now a crow's nest. Well, if you're familiar with this and the Argus Navis map coordinate, what the ship that I drew out on the map, the crow's nest is actually, where the crow's nest is, the top of the mast is exactly there, on the temple, on the lock itself. And their nest was where I was registered at birth in Caerwent House. I'll show you on the map, you've got to see it to believe it. This is also then confirmed in the constellations, which I'll show you as well, once I've shown you the ship. Now it says connect the ladder. Well, the ladder goes from the bottom of literally the bottom of the ship on the picture as well. It goes up. This is Jacob's ladder, the decoded Jacob's ladder. Goes through Caldecott, Nedden up to Caerwent. So you've got connect ladder ID Caerwent, and the ladder goes to literally goes to the lock as well. So what you have is the ladder go into the crow's nest. Again, impossible, but, and like I say, if that isn't impossible enough, when I show you the star code, that literally confirms it, and well, you'll see now when we get there. Right, okay, just to continue, Argus Navis ship will return, set evac LZ. Well, the rendezvous point, which it will, again, will be confirmed in the stars, because they two link. The LZ is basically on the key, or where the key is. I think it's not, I don't know exactly where it is, but the landing zone, you've got the rendezvous at the temple, the landing zone is represented with a key, where the actual thing this ship comes down. I don't know exactly, but either way, you've got the RV and the rendezvous, the RV and the LZ. Okay. Okay, right, now, very important message. Okay. Remind, take down graven cross. Right, he says that he will basically, warns you to basically get rid of your idols of wood and stone, gold and silver that cannot see, hear, or speak, and he calls them graven images. Now, Abergavenny in itself says be any graven, and then you've got Llanfair cross. So take the cross, add that, it's be any graven cross on its own. Now and again, I'm passing on, this is a message written in creation that's been revealed to me, and I have no doubt Jesus is a complete lie. He isn't going to save anyone. Yah is coming back. The code is written in the book of Job, in Job 9:9, which is the job 999 job, effectively, when you uncode it. Tells you Yah's return. It says, I see something like, I see truth return, so I return on H, set all HIDs. This is the secret code that has been decoded from Job 9:9. And again, countenance divine says, I N count 9 evac. So, like I say, you couldn't make this stuff up, people. Right, so warning, sin, not Lord. So your graven image, your crosses, all these crosses with and I'm sure it's the abomination of desolation. And he says they make my name an abomination. Well, first, what type of father would send his innocent son onto the earth to be cruelly tortured and murdered by his arch enemy, the Romans, or later it's the Roman Catholic Church, who've made this absolute lie up. And basically, and what kind of, how can a righteous creator do that as a blood, and require it as a blood sacrifice for our sins? He doesn't require anything. He created us. He could he could soon destroy us rather than do that. Would anybody send their son to go through that? What does that make Yah? What does that appear? That is, he says, make my name an abomination. Well, they really have done, by changing the whole Old Testament has been butchered. I said this long ago. Obviously, it's been rewritten. They've made him look terrible, bottom line, and people think he's this cruel. Well, he's not. He doesn't want you to die. He wants to save you and get you on board this ship. But he requires you to take down the graven cross and warn in sin, not Lord. It's a sin to have these things. So, and like I say, these are not my words. I'm literally the angel messenger that is giving you this message. So on that note, I will move on to the next bit. Bear with me. Right then, folks, just to take this on to the next step, I just want to say as well, thank you to all the people that wished me well when obviously I put a notice up I was in hospital. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate all the comments and and really just your kind words. If you wish to comment, please do. Nothing negative though. I mean, anyone who, like I say, if anybody wants to insult this, they're not insulting me. Really, they're insulting the Creator's works. And I will stand by it, and you're about to see how spectacular and how brilliant his works are. He says, I create new works, and I'm about to show you again. And you have to ask yourself, even if I did this in 6 weeks, I did it in less than 24 hours in real time, probably a lot less than that. But either way, okay, so what we've got now, and this is where it gets clever, because as well as saying speak to the fish, it also speaks to the fowls of the air. Now, I think there's a lot more to that. I think because there's a lot more sort of bird constellations, and I'm quite sure there's going to be some sort of message overall mixed up. But I've realised that these constellations, if you mix them in different orders, you obviously get different messages. But I always, well, as you will see, I'm always led to the right constellation for the right video and the right message that fits with the Atlas line every time, making this the absolute. It's just a miracle in itself that I'm able to do it. And honestly, the amount of times I'm like, no way. I actually say no way. But with this one, as you can see, it says speak to the fowls of the air. Well, we've got a dove, we've got a crane, we've got a crow. Like I said, I don't think it's the only thing, but really speaking, like the fish was a little easier to speak to the fish, because I just took all the fish constellations, added obviously the whale and the dolphin, basically everything in the sea. So you had some kind of structure with it. This one is a little bit, well, obviously you've got the dove, which is, well, as you'll know, is to do with Noah. The crow, well, that one's going to be, again, is to do with the Valley of the Crows, and my mother and father, again, and you'll see all this come into how it all works now. But like Lyra the harp, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's something to do with playing the Song of Solomon on the harp or something in my last video. I don't know. But either way, and interestingly, Veil of the Sails, the start message in that, as I remember, something along the line of, as Noah is true as said, I am ID, I think it is. That's the message in the stars. So that one came in. But you've obviously got ship parts as well. Or to do with the ship, and the sails obviously go to the crow's nest, and the ladder runs through the sails. Again, I'm going to show you the message first, unscrabble a bit, and then I'm going to show you the ship for anybody who hasn't seen it, and show you the absolute brilliance of how this all connects. Okay, I've just shown you this. So from that, I'm now going to break down the exact message in this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of link the two messages, the atlas and the thing together in the sections, as I somehow tried to do this in record time, really. But okay, on that note, bear with me. Okay, folks, so the message in the constellations, I think there's an extra one to go on here. I'm going to put it in there in a little bit when I mix the two. But I'm not sure it's complete because I think it connects with something else, because there is or seems to be a letter missing. So I've got a feeling it connects. But I'm gonna throw it in there just on the grounds that it does fits perfectly with the warning message on the last one. And however, it says, "Oh, he names Ararat Table Mountain." This "oh" is a Yah thing. He says, "Oh, son of man. Oh, you'll see," it's like this trademark, like making a point type thing. But he says, "Oh, he names Ararat Table Mountain. Here he calls the dove to the boat." So this is where it says connect the dove event on the ground. Obviously put the two together. It says here he calls the dove to the boat. So this is obviously Noah that he's talking about. Sends the dove out, the dove comes back. Okay, Vatican Church guilty, led into trap, a gin and a snare to Jerusalem, or Jerusalem as it is, because these are all centres around this padlock matrix, or the matrix, and the atlas message. It says, right, search the crow's nest Temple House. Right, okay, again, like I say, when we connect the two together, effectively, the Cumbrian Valley crow, obviously what does it say? It says link Ned and Ladder and the Cumbrian Valley womb. Well, the Cumbrian Valley womb is my mother, my mother and father, both crows, born in the Valley of the Crows. Basically, the egg is fertilised. The nest then goes to where the temple, unbelievably, the nest is set up at the Temple House, which I'll show you on the map then when we get to it, when I show you the ship and where the crow's nest sits, literally on the Temple House. It says, I attach Argus Navis SOSRV. Well, it's also the rendezvous point for the Argus Navis evacuation, as I've showed in numerous videos before. And then it says connect the angel. The connect the angel attaches to the Link Solomon Coelin Sabbath end map. And again, I'll show you this when I break it down. Okay, I'm gonna have to move on from this quickly because I'm limited with time. Okay, folks, I'm struggling a little bit, so I may have to split this video into two. I'll see how I go, though. I'll soldier on for the moment. But I just want to put this all in perspective. What I've actually done is I've included the last video, or the relevant parts of the last video. I mean, this is Atlas code, this is star code. Then we come on to this video, spoke to the and this is the Atlas code. Is that Atlas code either way, and this one is the star code. But as you that shouldn't be there actually. And the fish and they will. Yeah, sorry, that shouldn't be there. Let's just take that line out. Okay, so what you've got, just to put it in perspective, that this cannot be coincidence. There is no way on earth this is coincidence, and you have to ask yourself how I managed to find all this, even in the 2 weeks. Well, Christmas I did the last video, so like taking the two videos into consideration, you're talking of less than 8 weeks, or probably, and like I say, I've spent nowhere near that amount of time doing it. I can assure you. Right, okay, so just to put it in perspective, this is the kind of, and I mean, if I went back further, I could literally link all these codes together, but obviously I need a board the size of Russia alone, never mind just to do it. Okay, it says, yes, ancient Welsh Bible rewritten, that should say, sorry, but I won't amend it, but it's, yes, ancient Welsh Bible rewritten. Ancient South Wales history is hid in the depths of the Vatican. She hushes up G-Roos. ID Welsh Christ, use H hidden on Hillfort. As I explained, this is your Christ, which now gets confirmed in this video. Spoke to the fish, because this is the fish code, and they revealed Welsh Christ and Vatican Bible lies. Final rest of Noah's Ark on Table Mountain, not Ararat, Turkey. Connect Dove event. Go to the stars. Oh, he names Ararat Table Mountain, that'll be me. Here he calls the dove to the boat, that's Noah. Vatican Church guilty, led into trap. Okay, just to put it in perspective how all this links together, and this is all done from nothing more than the constellations and a map. Not only that, this creates the constellation, literally, of Mensa Table Mountain, which as a title gives you names the Table Mountain. Obviously decode it and it tells you what it names it. Basically, is what they changed to Ararat, Turkey. Complete and utter lie. The whole thing is the biggest cover-up of a nation, of the Holy Land, of everything, the true Holy Land. And I'm here, obviously here to expose it all. But as you can see, there's no way on earth that I should be able to find any of this. And at least, well, I understand it, but like I say, I've been guided and led by Yahweh, the creator of all things. And he's nothing to do with Israel. That's all Ra lies. Israel is Ra lies. If you add Rome to it, it's more Ra lies. Israelites is it's Ra lies. So it's Ra lies, and then you got more Ra lies. Ra is the snake from the Garden of Eden. Amen Ra, that he named himself Amen to deceive you to follow the Church of Amen Ra, which is the Vatican. That's why they have you giving your prayers they make you say Amen. Because what you don't realise is all your prayers are going to a snake. You're being totally and utterly misguided with their false Messiah. Nobody has been saved by this blood sacrifice of his what they claim to be his son, the Creator's son. An absolute lie. Okay, folks, bear with me a second. Okay, folks, so second part of the next sort of, well, load of connections. There's more than this. I can't really put all of this together, but I'm doing my best. And again, I've included 2 older codes just to show you how they connect to this bit here as well. Okay. Right, link Ned and ladder. Well, the Ned and ladder is Jacob's ladder from the last video. Again, to go through it all, but if you take the place where I will show you the ship shortly, and the effectively the divine mothership part as well, the actual kind of spaceship or triangular craft that represents the Argus Navis with its tail fin, which is why I've put the tail fin code here. Okay, but link Ned and ladder, literally, right, okay. Jacob's ladder goes from the bottom of the ship through Caldecott, Nedden and Caerwent. When you unscrabble the code in those 3 names, it says connect ladder ID Caerwent. This is all to do, and it links at the what is biblically coded as Padanarum, which is padlock anagram and gives you lock G. You'd have to go back to the last video to see the full effect of this, but it's extraordinary. Okay, but it says to link the Ned ladder and the Cumbran Valley womb. Right, the Cumbran Valley womb, if I explain, Cumbran is the Valley of the Crows. Both my parents, right, which are represented in the rivers, the river that make up the triangle. Again, I'll come to that now. Right, both parents were born in the Valley of the Crows. Therefore, Yah's likening them to crows. The egg gets fertilised. Basically, they moved to, well, my parents then got together and ended up obviously living in Caerwent House, which is my registered place of birth, which is literally the temple's house on the crow's nest of the Argus Navis. And also, where does it say? Oh, and it says I attached the Argus Navis SOSRV. Well, you'll see that you saw Vionki, seen RV down here. The River Severn is also represents the rendezvous. Again, like I say, how you explain all this is so difficult, but clearly the crow's nest of the actual ship drawn into the map, which I drew long ago, and all the lines are coded, so there's no accident, it's there. It's decoded from the Argus Navis constellation code. Carina the keel being a car in a keel, because the keel is made up the M4 motorway, but you can also break the Gwent levels, which it's on, from Solomon's Great Seal, which I'll come to shortly when I do the Sabbath Seal bit and Coelin. Oh, it's complicated, folks, but bear with me. Right, so search the Crow's Nest, the Temple House, I attach Argus Navis SOS. Okay, the Argus Navis will return, set evac LZ. Well, you've got the RV is on the lock and the LZ is on the key. Already all decoded and all kind of done. Right, obviously we've now decoded the Welsh Christ is not so it's not, their Christ is false. There's a Welsh Christ. And how it's me, and I'm just, like I say, I don't want to sound like some lunatic that really, you know, I truthfully, I can't comprehend what this code keeps telling me. But it is clearly states, and like I say, you can see how accurate this code is, that I'm the Redeemer, the Lion of Judah, or Judah's Lion, only Judah's Lion, or Judah's Lion, is only UID as H. You've got the Redeemer codes, more than one. Then you've got the Orion Messiah codes. You've got it written into Orion's riddle. It even tells you in the Atlas Matrix, if you go back 3 videos ago, I think it is, or the Messiah code, no, 2 videos ago, and it you basically solve Orion's riddle. And when you solve Orion's riddle, it tells you I'm the Messiah as well. How that is possible, I don't know. And I let the code speak for itself. I'm not jumping for joy over it. In fact, I'd do everything to avoid it if I could. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I know it has to be, but it railroads me to show you all these things. If I take out the critical bit, the whole thing falls apart. So I don't have an option in saying what I'm saying. Personally, I'd rather just be Marco, who uncovered this stuff through being guided, whatever. But obviously, these things, these codes are all there to expose the Vatican and then lie about Jesus saving anyone. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the saviour. Yah states that I am your, well, God it says, but creator and saviour. There is no other. I'm not the saviour. Like, I had to be the redeemed to be able to be the redeemer to show you all this stuff. This is not my work. This is Yah's work. All he does is guide me. And instead of telling you, oh, you need to do this, that, and there's a spaceship coming, which would sound absolutely ridiculous with no substance to it. Because to say, well, what would you call it? Like, well, I don't know, but, extraordinary things then. Let's say extraordinary claims needs extraordinary evidence, and that's what this is. It's just extraordinary evidence. I should never be able to do it, is the truth. But anyway, Argus Navis will return, set evac LZ. And bear in mind, this is not nothing new. I've already done this. The whole reason I can uncode this is because piece by piece, I've got the puzzle. He showed me all these puzzle pieces, linked it. When it linked it all together, then you go, and then he takes me to these places every time. I draw lines on a map, and boom, there comes this gigantic code. You know, it's not. I don't know, but like I say, I don't need to claim anything. I'm just going to let the code speak for itself. Okay, so take that, right, then it says, right, it says, remind, take down, grave and cross. Warning, sin not Lord. In other words, right, when he says your idols of wood and stone and gold and silver that cannot see, hear, speak, what other idol in this modern day and age fits that profile? Number one, it's a graven image. Image of the grave is quite obvious, really. Abergavenny, be any graven? Well, and now what he's doing is stating, he's telling you, it's not just an image, he's telling you what the image is. The graven cross, and that's why it's encoded in. It's a warning, sin not Lord. They've created this Lord, this false Messiah. Notice that the word Lord in every Bible comes in capital letters, which indicates a fictional identity. If you actually look at the law, when you sign any loans and things like this, or anything in law, you have to sign in capital letters. That's because you have two identities at birth, your real identity and your fictional one that they basically enslave you on, bottom line, and this is how their whole financial system stands up. I'm not an expert on this type of thing, but clearly the fact that Lord is written in capital letters should tell you that it's what it is a fictional identity. It's not true, and they've overlaid it onto well, I don't know which exactly, Messiah perhaps. You know, and yeah, it says, I send my, well, what should say, Christ. And that indicates that there's a false Christ, which is why the Antichrist is a deception. Because bear in mind, like, well, let's just go to it. I'll put this on there and I'll show you where this is written in the map. This is actually made up of the coordinates of the tail fin of the Argus Navis spaceship on the map, or what is a triangular craft. And the places in it are Llanfihangel, Roggett, what are they? Llanfihangel, Roggett, Caldicot, Mega Undy and Whitsun. Well, Mega Undy and Whitsun says Ungod Mary with Sun. When you uncode the rest of it, the Llanfihangel, Roggett part, it says I code RGH tail fin, call to Ungod Mary with Sun. Now, and as you'll see, the ship connects to the Royal Gwent Hospital, the RGH. This is the Royal Arch in Cancer that I was born into. That's what this whole thing is about. And how is me, I do not know. But either way, I can't be justifying everything. I don't get, you know, I'm still trying to come to terms with it all. Right, if you go to the rivers, the coordinates are actually made up of the mouth of the river, which are this is made up. It's the same letters on both sentences, but it's made up of the Y, Usk, Avon, and Severn. And when you unscramble it, it says you saw V on key, C now V. Well, the V on key, you add the V to Melin, and it gives you Melvin. You can uncode it from Solomon symbology as well to get the C. This breaks in, gives you an angel picture as well. Oh, again, I need to do a second video on this, I think. But you saw V on key, C now V. Well, the key is, the first one is Melvin. This is my, sorry, it needs to go that way. So the first one, Clan Melin, just add VID, David, it's David code. So if you add V to Melin, you get Melvin. And then what it says, so you saw V on key, well the key is Clan Melin. Okay, but then it also, secondary code is saw V, use Vernon key. Well, Vernon is my mother's maiden name. So that one goes there, and this makes effectively it makes the mel tree or the elm tree. And again, this is the replanted tree. Again, I can't get into all of it, but as you can see, everything ties together. And I think this is the bit as well. I didn't put it on, I haven't written it on there actually, because it kind of fits two parts. Right, it also says ID the angel. Where is it? Oh, connect the angel. Well, as crazy as this sounds, I'm the Atlas angel, but the Atlas Archangel, and it's because I'm the Atlas angel that shows you the arcs, because there's two of them that represent the same thing. You got the ark ship, the sort of modern day boat, if you like, which is made up from the Argus Navis, and I decoded it all from that. But then you also got the spaceship that overlays it, which is made up of the Divine Mother Triangle. So when you combine the two, you get the Divine Mother ship, and then you get the rendezvous and the LZ. Okay, let me just show you on the map, because it will make it easier to explain it. Bear with me a second, folks. Okay, folks, just to put this in perspective, just to show you what I'm talking about, I'll do the triangle ship first. Okay, right, this is this is made up of the Divine Mother Triangle. And when I say Divine Mother, ironic as well that it tells you to call Ungod me. Right, firstly, this is the Royal Gwent Hospital, Newport. It's basically bang on the entrance there. I've done it. Crosses, it connects at the River Usk. As you can see, they're all on the mouth. This is the river, the connection at the River Wye. And this is the connection at the River Avon. Obviously, all over. This is the Avon. I don't know if you can see all this. This is the Wye, the Avon, and the Usk. That gives you this gives you. Let me just pop it in back in there. Okay, so this just gives you this Divine Mother Triangle ship. Okay, if I'll show you shortly next what the actual ship goes underneath this. So when you overlay the two and you read the map, what you get is the Divine Mother triangle, and then you get the Argus Navis ship. So when you put it all together, effectively, what it's telling you is this is the rescue ship. And I know it sounds far-fetched, folks, but I'm showing it over and over and over in the most miraculous way. This event is going to happen. Even the word Ark of Covenant, when you unscrabble it, it says OC No Event Craft. So it's telling you that, well, like I say, I could go over and over this stuff, but again, right, let's just go. Okay, so we've done that. Where are we? Oh, it's still there. That's fantastic. Right, okay. Right, obviously, there's extra lines. Trying to keep this in. Let's get this, move this camera up a bit. Right, that's better. Okay, this bottom line is Noah's Ark Farm Zoo. Fits on the giraffes on Noah's Ark. There's a lot more to that because that connects as well, because that identifies, there's a giraffe code. I think it's the Dabus giraffes is encoded if you want to watch the video and go back. But it effectively identifies my daughter's me and everything in the constellations. Right, but without further ado, this is the M4 motorway that makes up the keel of the ship. Okay, this is decoded as Carina the keel, which is part of the Argus Navis constellation, a car and a keel. My car is also encoded in the stars in Auriga the charioteer. Unbelievably, even it says he I tied to a H, a car reg AUR. Well, my registration is AUR, which is the Welsh word for gold, and my car is indeed gold. There's a bit more to it than that, but I won't get into it. Right, this line that runs from there goes to the RGH as well. So they both connect at the Royal Gwent Hospital, which is the Royal Arch in Cancer. Okay, where I lived as a boy is actually, this crosses the bedroom window somewhere around here. So when we moved from the lock on the crow's, let me just show you the crow's nest. This is where it gets unbelievable. This is the ladder that goes from, I've sort of crisscrossed it, as you can see. But it goes from Caldecott across the Ned and up to the lock. This is the lock on the crow's nest. I've drawn this big triangle thing in just to obviously to highlight this as being the crow's nest. But this is the house, the temple house. This is Kaiwent Temple, or Solomon, the real Solomon's Temple. But this is Kaiwent House. This is my registered place of birth. This is where the two crows, the valley, you know, the two Cumbran crows, my father born in Cumbran, my mother born in Cumbran, moved to, made their nest on the, funnily enough, crow's nest of the Ark ship. And it says, connect the ladder, collect the Nedden ladder. The Nedden is here. This is the old Nedden River that's now dried up. And the walls of Jerusalem, the real Jerusalem with a G, is this fort here, the place of the covenant, which you can also decode that as well from its name. Like I say, I can't go into everything, but as you can see, this is the crow. There's the crows, the crow's nest, the valley of the crows. Two crows move here, fertilised egg, I'm born, taken to the Royal Gwent Hospital, brought back here, registered place of birth. If you follow it down, literally, we moved to 57 Longfellow Road, the Longfellow being the giraffe as well. I know it sounds crazy, but it's literally crosses. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. And this is this window here on this big masonette flat is my bedroom window, literally, for where we lived on Longfellow Road once we moved from the temple. So clearly, and that goes through to Noah's, like I say, to Noah's Ark. So there's, you know, it's just so much of this that it completely, absolutely structures together. And to ID the angel, really, I suppose, is the Atlas angel, a last angel. Atlas is who basically breaks the map tricks, or breaks the matrix by breaking the padlock on the temple, breaking the padlock, add P lock, put the letter P into the word matrix, and it becomes map tricks. So I'm the angel exposing the archangel. It says I was an archangel. No memory of it, and I don't even like saying these things. But it clearly states it. Even says, even the ship line tells you, Marco Angel go, he forget all. Right, folks, afraid I'm gonna have to cut this one short. Well, I say short, it's probably too long now, but I don't. Obviously, I need this to upload. So again, I'm gonna continue this. It's probably gonna be. I'll continue this. I'll have to do a part 2, but I don't want to lose momentum. But I also this is just, yeah, I'm just tiring out. I've obviously not been well. But what I will say to you, don't just take it as read that you just see this ship and then turn up on the day. You really need to stand in the letter Y, put your sins on your palms, offer them up. Literally offer them up. And this is how this will all, I can show you this. This is all what this Coelin end map is. It's basically me in a stance that reflects in the water the safe zone map, basically, in the evacuation, or the site of the evacuation. But I'll come to that next time when we're there. But in the meantime, folks, just get those hands up. Please get right. Time's running out. Yas, blessings to you all.